All right. I'm back. Let's go. So now this is what I did, right? I got my other laptop, right? I have my other laptop, and I'm gonna see the comments because the last time I didn't see the comments, I was like, all right, fuck you guys. I'm not appreciating my live cast. Okay, I see. So let me see. So I'm gonna go on my YouTube from another channel and see. So I can just see the comments. It feels good when you see people commenting on your videos. It's a little self-esteem boost. Yo, this is like so narcissistic. It's not even funny. Oh, look at that, Barbie, Jenna G, Shanama, Shanama, Shaik, hi says hi. Okay, okay. So yeah, so I like this. I like this. This could be very addictive. You know something though? What I'm starting to notice as as things are, okay, I can't look at these comments, man. They distract me. As things go on in my life, I notice that if you don't notice yourself changing, like if you're not always aware of your current emotional state, no matter how bad it is or how good it is, you change in ways you don't imagine. You change in ways that you don't expect. And that's why a lot of the times when we look back at our lives, we say things didn't go as planned. That's because we sometimes trade our long-term goals for momentary pleasures. You see, rather than look inside ourselves, we try to, how can I say this, keep thinking of the future. And what tends to happen is that because our present reality sucks so much painful, that the natural habit of the brain is to escape into an imaginary world, and that usually is in the future, in the hopes of happiness and fulfillment, or in the past of what things happen. So what tends to happen is that it tends to leave you undefensive and vulnerable to mental parasites per se, where situations in your life are changing you and you don't even notice. Where that's because your brain is not focused on the present moment. Your brain is focused on getting into the future and thinking about what happened in the past, that the changes that happen in the present moment, you don't notice it. And even worse, you don't even appreciate it. And that's why people change. And the only time you notice that you change is when you change so much you can't even go back. And the only time you notice that your life didn't go as planned is when it's so far into it that you can't go back. And so you feel more resentfulness, and keep going back to the future, keep going to the past, and keep repeating that pattern, you see, until you're dead. And that's why a lot of people live unfulfilled. And so what you got to realize is that what really is important is the now, and is observing what's going on inside of you and observing all of the changes that occurs in your life. It's because in order to master the word, you got to master your mind. In order to understand the word, you have to understand yourself, understand what's going on in every present moment. Because right now, I'm noticing myself changing, and I'm noticing my mind's perpetency, that shit, to want to grab onto the identity of this smart, eclectic guy, and it's tempting as fuck, right? And your mind begins to tell you things that's based on the environment, based on the feedback that I'm getting. And what tends to happen is that if you're not aware of that, it can become so pleasurable that you begin to believe it. And you begin to believe the things that people are telling you. What's really going on here is that it's not that that's really true, but that's true in their moments. For example, like if you're feeling like shit, anything that can make you feel better. For example, if you never ate in your life, right, and you always ate shitty food, and suddenly you get a nice piece of steak, it may not be the best piece of steak, but because you have so much shitness in your life, that one piece of steak becomes the epitome of what it is to eat a delicious food. So the same thing that, what was I just going with that? What was I going with that? Look at the comment section. Help me out, guys. I forgot what I was saying. Some shit like that, right? I forgot what I was saying. So what you have to do then is notice the changes. Like realize that the most important thing that happens is right now. Like it may suck, but that's the only thing you have. Are you really going to decide to want to escape the now by living in the future and then noticing that your life has passed? It's kind of like going to college. You want to get to college so much that as soon as you leave college and you finally got the degree, you start noticing that the most and the best part was not the outcome, but the process. The outcome is always anticlimactic. And that happens right in college, right? And that's what you keep reliving in the past. Like, oh my God, my college years were so good, right? Right? And so you keep thinking of the happening. And so, but when you were in college, you were thinking about leaving. When you're in high school, you're thinking about becoming an adult. When you become an adult, you're thinking about finally having your career. When you finally have a career, you're thinking about finally having your kids. And so you never really sit down appreciate it. Now the problem is that people do sit down and appreciate it for one moment, but that's it. Like they appreciate it, but then they keep going back into their heads, thinking about the future, thinking about the problems. And so it feeds into the mind and you lose focus of the now, and you begin to become the things that occur in your mind. You begin to become whatever arises in your mind. So suddenly if a negative thought arises, you hold on to it and it becomes part of your identity. If something happens, it doesn't matter what happens, because it's such a propensity and such a habit to hold on to things. People can throw anything at you and you'll take it, and it'll hurt you. You see? And that's an issue. You know, why am I talking about that? Let me see. Oh, let me read some of the comments. Hey, okay. Hey. All right. Hey. Okay. Is he Mexican? Okay, Trump. I only watch because he's sexy. Okay. I feel so objectified. How dare you? Dropping knowledge. Okay. What's the topic for today? Look, it's something, man. I'm just experimenting here. Until you. Okay. Let me see. I need steak. How to make someone like you and value you even though you fucked up already, to eventually get revenge and make someone chase for judging so fast. Oh man, you see, it's when you fuck up, the last thing you gotta, when you fuck up with someone, like, you know, when you fuck up, right, the last thing you should do is think short term, like momentary ways to not fuck up. You know, when you fuck up, you gotta realize it's gonna take a while. You know, it's a lot easier to bomb down a building than to build up a building. And so that's what you got to realize. Like when you fuck up, like any short-term solution to make him happy, to rebuild trust, is seen as suspicious and weird and not normal. You see? So if you're thinking about making it short-term, how to get him back short-term, then you're going down the wrong path, and it's gonna backfire to you eventually. Right? You gotta be smart, man. Like when it comes to gaining people's trust, the long route is always the best route. And the long route is a route that people don't take. You see, just don't take. Like you gotta actually, if you fuck up, you gotta really take your time and actually prove that you want them, not by trying to impress them, but by having empathy and compassion, understanding their insecurities. And so what's gonna happen is that when you stop thinking about how can I get them, as opposed to how can I have compassion from them, how can I appreciate them, you're gonna start noticing that the dynamics, the way you think, the way you perceive, the way you try to regain his trust comes from a completely different paradigm. It comes from a place of actual caring. And that's when he's going to begin to react to you. That's when people react to you, when you actually care, not because you want something, but because you understand, but because you have actual compassion for people. You see, like I may teach tactics to manipulate people, but I always tell you guys that it's just not the best route to go. I always underline it under the assumption that you have to understand that in order to get someone, you first have to go within yourself. And once you go within yourself, then you can start using tactics. And a lot of the times with this channel, I attract a lot of people with the dark shit, right? Because everyone likes the dark shit, right? I attract them a lot, but it's more like a bait and switch. I can't believe you tracked us, right? No, like bait and switch in a good way, where, you know, I am teaching you guys dark tactics, but I'm also going to sneak in the good things in there, you know, like improving on yourself and realizing that the guy is not everything you need, you know. And I understand, dude, like I understand, like it's difficult, and especially when you're being told that you need to do this or that, but you have to observe the desire to gravitate towards people's roles that they place on you. Just notice the gravitational pull it has on you. You see, because when you notice that gravitational pull, then who's the one that's observing? I mean, you think that you want it, then you notice that you're observing that thing that wants the attention, that wants this or that. And who's the one who's observing it? You see, I'm actually going to talk about this in a very, very deep topic in my podcast when I start podcasting. Right? Let me see, comment section. Let me see. Manifesting could be a bitch. Life is a bitch, man. You should write an ebook. I'm not writing an ebook. No, I'm kidding. It's like, ah! No, I'm actually writing an ebook. I'm gonna start writing one. When I move out, I'm gonna start writing like for like 10, now it's 30 shit. Right? Just a couple else, right? But I'm gonna start writing it, and I don't want to make it shit. You know, I don't want to make it short, or I don't want to make it too fast. Cause again, I don't want this for the fucking money, right? I want to put it out there, you know. So it's gonna be sometime around the summer or fall when I put out that book. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know what kind it is, but I believe it's gonna be the shit. You know, I have a lot of things in my mind that I want to put out. Let me see. I can't see my comments. Been doing your rules and I'm impressed. Just don't want to turn into a beast from it. Well, that's why you gotta observe yourself. You know, no, preserve yourself becoming a beast. Ay, pero que cierto. I see you, Isayla. I'm married and 44, but I'm learning a lot from you. I wish I knew this when I was single. I love your hair. Yeah, like me too. Well, both things, the hair and the single part. Like knowing this in the past, like I wish I like, you know how many relationships I would have fucking not missed out if I would have known this. But then, you know how many, you know, if that would have been the case, I would have never been here. You see, I always say that anything that happened to you that brought you to this channel was worth it because you got to this channel. You see, this is an investment that is worth a lifetime. Like this is something that I learned and something that I've been looking years for this knowledge, and no matter how hard I looked, I couldn't see it, even though it wasn't right in my face. It wasn't until I started applying all of the things that I knew into pickup. Now, the reason why it looks like I know a lot, it's because, mind you, you women, you guys meet guys, right? You guys meet guys, but you guys don't take relationships you guys didn't take it from a systematic perspective, which is, okay, let me learn how to seduce people from beginning to end. Okay, this is the beginning, approaching. The middle part, creating comfort. The second part, getting the number. The third part, texting. The fourth part, getting them to respond back. The fifth part, getting them to agree on the date. The seventh part, getting them to actually be on the date. The eighth part, getting them to actually go home with you. The ninth part, getting them to actually go in the room with you, do stuff like system motherfucking matic, you know. And throughout each of those steps, I systematically saw what I was doing wrong, reading books, applying it to those situations. And what tends to happen is that whenever you become obsessed about something, something takes over. Like a creative mechanism that begins to expand on things you knew, you see. So now suddenly I'll see something, right? I'll see anything, almost anything, and my mind will begin making references towards how to apply to the pickup. For example, like this book, like The Art of War, right? By the way, like I was like when I got this book, right? I was expecting a big book. Let me show you 1 second. I was expecting, you know, because I got it and it was like 12 bucks. I was expecting this fucking big book, right? So I was like, you know, I'm waiting in the mail. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to get my big book, and I fucking got this. So I'm like, you know, this is how women feel a lot. They expect this, you know, and they get this. Like I was like, whatever, I gotta deal with it. Oh my god, I was born September 11th, so I guess that's you guys can find out what my sign is. So, for example, like, I don't know, like I'll read to you a random part of this book, right? And I'm gonna show you how I apply it to dating. You know, like develop the enemy, the annihilation strategy. Let me show you, right? People will use any kind of gap in your defenses to attack you and revenge themselves on you. That could be like on an ex, you know. Never trust an ex fully. Remember, if you broke up with them, never really trust them. Trust them, but at the same time, be wary, because when you hurt someone's ego, they will always try and get back to you, depending on the person's character. So offer no gaps. The secret is to envelop your enemy, create relentless pressure on them from all sides, dominate their attention, and close off their access to the outside world. Make your attacks unpredictable to create a vaporous feeling of vulnerability. Finally, as you sense their weakening resolve, crush their willpower by tightening their noose. The best encirclement are... Okay, time out. Okay, now, is this talking about divorce? Is this talking about divorce? Like, no. I'm not gonna talk about that. Let me see. Okay, know how to end things. The exit strategy. Again, look, these are things on war. You are judged in this world by how well you bring things to an end, right? A messy or incomplete conclusion can reverberate for years to come, ruining your reputation in the process. The art of ending things well is knowing when to stop. Never going too far so that you exhaust yourself or create bitter enemies that embroil you in conflicts in the future. It also entails ending on the right note. With enemy and flair. It is not a question of simply winning the war by the way you win it. The way you win victory, the way your victory sets up for the next round. The height of a strategic wisdom is to avoid all conflict and entanglement, which there are no realistic exits. Like, it's knowing how to end things, you see. And so you may think to yourself, how do I apply this to pickup or to dating? See, you gotta ask it. Like, it's just asking yourself, how do I apply it? Right? And so if you ask, if you're obsessed about something, you keep asking yourself, how do I apply to this? How do I apply to this? You're telling your brain, bro, you're gonna find the answers, right? And so you never give up. So when I read this, I say to myself, okay, how do I apply this to dating? All right, end things right. Okay, so it means when you're ending the war, end it quickly. Don't do like the U.S. where they were in fucking Iraq. Again, I'm not into politics. I don't know too much. From what I saw, they overstood the welcome. In relationships, don't overstay your welcome. When you feel like it's about to end, do it now. Don't wait too long to end it, because you're hurting yourself and you may hurt the person. You see, and also when it comes to any relationships, end it. Don't keep in touch. You see, stuff like that. You see, like, you may say, how do I apply this to that? But that's how you do it. You got to ask yourself those questions. And so what's going to happen is that this can only happen when you have a pure passion for something, when it's something you're applying for yourself. Now, this cannot happen if you're doing it just for the money. Like, this cannot happen if you're just doing it because you want a career. You know, because it has to come from a selfish, there's external, no, what's that thing called? Incentive. You know, the incentive, internal and external. External incentives motivate you for a second, which is going to be a dating coach or wanting to get money, right? They motivate you, but they don't keep you going. Now, incentives, like internal incentives, if that's the right case, they keep you going. They're based on your values. They're based on a goal. They're based on a vision. A vision. You remember when I talk about Psycho-Cybernetics? It's based on the vision. And so what tends to happen is that it opens up certain parts of your brain where you're able to access certain things, certain wisdom that most people wouldn't otherwise have been able to access. And it's not because you're better than them. It's because you're more obsessed about something than them. And also because you're willing to ask questions that are different from most people. You want different results, ask different questions. You want different results, work harder. You want different results, do the opposite. And that's how you start, and that's how what tends to happen. And I didn't have these skills 2 years ago. You believe that shit? I didn't have these skills 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was in this position where I didn't have money. I was broke. I came back to Pennsylvania, and I was like, I came from Pennsylvania, from New York City, and I tried to become a web developer, a web designer, and I sucked at it, right? I really sucked because I wasn't organized. I'm not much of an organized person. You know, a vision, right? That's a self-image that I have. I got to work on that. And you see what I'm saying? Like, awareness. When you're aware of these little flaws, not judging yourself, but just aware, it doesn't control you as much as opposed to I'm just organized, right? And what doesn't happen is that when you think, oh, I'm just organized, it fucking spreads you in life. And so you keep thinking about that. And so you limit yourself from certain things. But anyways, so I moved back here and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it. And so I set myself a 3-month goal to make $15,000 a month, right? And that was exactly when I started actually having high motivation, when I set extremely unrealistic goals. Not because it was unrealistic, but because I saw other people doing it and I was willing to fail. And I can promise you that, you know how many times I told my friend I'm moving back to New York City in 3 months? I was like, yo, bro, 3 months. And I really believed it. I really believed it. I really believed it. Because every time I failed, I was like, okay, this other thing has to work. It didn't work. Oh, fuck that shit. This has to work. Every single time I said to myself, I will never give up. Never. Like, okay, I failed. Fuck that. I'm starting again. Oh, I failed again. I'm starting again. If you keep doing that, and every time you fail, you start again, but not starting again from a place of, okay, let me just keep going because it's a number game. But from a place of, you know what? I may feel delusional, but I feel like this is gonna work. A little delusion with a little logic and some understanding and guidance doesn't hurt, because you need to be a little delusional. I mean, think about this. Like, look at the shit that I teach. This is some deep shit, right? And so if you told me that I could teach women how to get guys, remember, if you watch my videos, Can You Really Make a Man Fall in Love with You? You'll see me saying, I don't think this could work. Like, if you watch it, you'll see me like, I don't think this is actually true. Like, I actually doubted teaching women this worked, right? And as I looked around, I started seeing a lot of similarities, you see? And so you have to at least be willing to look for to try it out. Because this channel, if it wasn't because of the habit of trying something, going hard, and then failing at it and then moving again, it's the going hard part, like going fucking hard at that shit, that you gain knowledge from that field. a deep knowledge, if you actually go hard in it for a few months. And what tends to happen is that when you go into another field, you bring that knowledge, you bring that perspective into that field. And the perspective that you bring is different. Like, look, I'm not a dating coach for women. I'm a dating coach for men. You see, and also an accumulation of also teaching mindfulness, teaching drug addiction, being a counselor. You bring all of that, and also being a Bible teacher when I was 15, where because when you read the Bible, man, you have to learn how to fucking cross-reference shit. You have to learn how to teach. You have to learn how to read and actually teach. You got to learn how to decipher spiritual text and actually overanalyze things. You see, when you put that all together, you have this. Now, everyone's different. Everyone has different ingredients. The Puff girls have sugar and spice and everything nice. You might have sugar and adobo and everything crazy, you know. But the point is that if I would have just came into this field half-assed, for example, I taught Bible, but I did a half-ass, right? I went into counseling, but I did a half-ass. Like, I wasn't interested in helping people. I did pickup, but I did a half-assed. I did this, but I did half-assed. Like, it would have not had the same quality to it because I would have not remembered as much. I would have never developed a self-image of that kind of person, right? And so what tends to happen is that when you read a book, you don't just read it because you want to fucking read it. You read it because I mean, look, I don't think you can see, but like in almost every area of this book, from top to bottom, I mean, you see, not making me feel look good. You see notes. Come on. I'm like, I don't see no notes. But you see notes, but it's not because of willpower. It's because I'm just obsessed about it, right? And so what tends to happen is that it permeates your teachings. People feel it, right? The obsession, people feel the obsession. And that also gets into them. And so the obsession that I feel, you guys feel, but you guys are going to direct that obsession from different perspectives, which is you guys are going to admire my obsession and you guys are going to feel what I feel. And that obsession is going to be linked to whatever quality makes you different. Like you might say, I like his obsession. I like his passion. So suddenly you start, I know how this feels, right? And then you start thinking, maybe I should do this. And suddenly the passion I have, you feel it. Now, whenever you feel an emotion, right? In that moment, whenever you feel an emotion and then you think of something else while feeling that, you're going to associate those positive emotions for those things. For example, one of the ways that I used to teach people how to work out more often is think about your most favorite memory. Think about the thing that you love to do. Notice how that feels. Feel that emotion. Feel it fully, right? And then I have them associate the emotion or whatever they're passionate about. And then as they feel that emotion, then I ask them, think about working out. Think about working out as you feel that emotion and then start thinking about working out. See the image of you working out vividly and very vivid and all that shit. And what's gonna happen is that you're gonna begin to feel that passion for working out, because not because you're generating it from working out, but because you're just borrowing an emotion from a mental model to something else. And so that's what happens. That's called mirror neurons, where I feel some way, and if you're in sync with me, you feel that way. That's why I teach presence, where if you know how to be present in the moment, people are gonna learn to be more relaxed around you. And so when you approach people, particularly women who mostly get nervous and fearful when a random guy approaches them, and also when fear becomes the #1 objection, that's when you use presence, communicate relaxation. They'll feel it, and suddenly what would have been hard, it's a lot easier. And so you're able to achieve crazy results, but it looks difficult. But in reality, you're just using certain principles. You just have to fucking do it, you know? My bad. Talked a lot. Okay, let me see. What made you want to help women? What? Sylvia Hunter, what made you want to help women? Well, you know, I mean, some women told me you should make a channel for women. This girl Graciela, right? Graciela, if you're watching, holla at you. And also when I used to approach women, when I used to do pickup, a lot of the times I used to approach women, I used to say to myself, you know what, if I don't get her number, right, at least let me give her something. And I used to talk about this kind of topic. And so even though I didn't get their number, I left her with some knowledge, some understanding, a deeper understanding of herself, because they were always interested. And so I always noticed that women were very noticing what I was teaching. They were like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, they don't notice, right? And so and then one video, I was like, you know, let me just make a video. And again, I didn't believe that women can do this. I didn't believe it, right? But I'm noticing that the women that I'm coaching one-on-one, a good fucking part of them are having much more results than I'm having, and then almost any guy I have with these tactics. I mean, they're getting fucking athletes. I'm like, where's my athlete? You know, where's my Megan Fox, man? Like, I don't get no Megan Foxes with this. Like, women, I guess women just have more. If you guys have the advantage that we have with this knowledge, it's like on steroids, man. You know, and one thing I want to know out is that a lot of women, they say too much. We're not even going on that topic, right? Okay, let me see. I bet because I did that, now you guys want to know what I said. You see, that's one tactic that you use to get people more interested. What's your zodiac sign? It's a Virgo. I'm a Virgo, I guess. I didn't know women were also so interested in signs and whatnot. I may make a video on how to attract certain guys. I guess how to attract a Virgo, right? How to attract a Scorpio, some shit. I know a guy a month that spoke on the phone 20 hours. Holy shit. We were 6, so had one date went well. He even said he likes me, missed me, but lately he been slow, cold. Yesterday, quiet. Okay, what do I do now? I feel anxious. You see, what's making you think all of those things is the emotion. When you feel certain emotions, certain thoughts arises. When you feel happiness, you think of happy thoughts, positive thoughts. When you feel anxiety, you think of things, anxious thoughts. You're gonna kill you and whatnot. That's when you walk in the streets at night, if you feel happy, you're not gonna think that someone's gonna hurt you. But if you feel anxious, you're gonna start thinking those thoughts. So the thoughts are also related by the emotion that you feel. So before you do anything, you first got to address the anxiety. You see, sometimes we actually have anxiety, but because it arises during the moment when someone causes us to be anxious, we think that that's not a problem that we have, but we attribute it to the other person. So as a result, you really never really get to work on yourself, and you always think that men are the problem. I'm not saying that that's you, but I'm just saying, like, generally speaking. So what you have to do is relax, man. Like, seriously, like if you're developing anxiety because of a text or because of this or that from a guy, you got to look inside yourself. Observe that anxiety before you even get anything done. Because anything you do with anxiety, it's not going to come across right. You see what I'm saying? Because when you do something, you're going to try to not come across anxious. So whenever you try to come across as something else other than you're not, it's going to be incongruent, and people are going to feel that, and it's going to be counterproductive. It's a lot better to do nothing as opposed to do something contaminated with emotion of anxiety and fear. Was that a bathroom next to the toilet? What the fuck? Toilet reading? No. That was a book that I had in my room. Virgo, you're cute. Okay, I'm cute. Hey, gone through your advice without justice, plus many heartbreaks. Advice to survive. Eat, you know. You do meditation. Yeah, I do meditation, you know. You mean intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, exactly. Does age matter? It matters. It matters. I mean, there's a point where it matters. That's where you got to be compatible with people. Like, get this off your head that you can get everyone. Accept that you can get some people. Once you're able to accept that, then what you have to do is just accept. It's like being gay. I mean, if you're gay, not everyone's straight. No matter how good looking you are, if you're gay and not something straight, they're not gonna want you. So you have to go for the kind. Like, it's a niche, you know. Being older, there's a certain guys that like older women. You see, and that's the beauty of it. Because if a guy likes older women, or he likes older women, like it's more like if they like you, they like you. But if they don't like you, they don't like you. So it's a good thing. So age does matter, but what matters most is your perception of yourself. It's your insecurity. I'm telling you that. Look. Okay. You could be the most beautiful girl in the world, all right? But if you have no confidence, and being secure is a fundamental to being attractive. It's a fundamental, you see. Do you have hopes to get married? Not as long as we have alimonies, man. Oh, that's not happening, dude. These alimonies, man, I'm hearing too many horror stories. Oh, get the fuck out of here, man. That's just too much of a contract. Like, you got my word. Okay, that's you got my word. Like, there has to be a better way than why alimony? Like, okay, I will get married with a girl if it wasn't because of the alimony. And also, what I noticed is that marriage does change the dynamics of relationships. And is that people equate marriage with love. Get the fuck out of here. Marriage is not equated with love. Marriage is more about business. All right? Let's just put that out there. The prelude to marriage is love. Sex, kids, doesn't mean love. It can mean accident. It can mean impulsivity. You see? You know? And so so what really equates to love, I don't know, loving them, you know. But marriage does not mean you love someone. You see, that's so superficial. That's so, that could be, I can see how people could use that to make people spend money, man. I'm not even talking about that. Kids also, like, too many. I don't know. Like, it's just like, if I die and I don't have more kids, will the world keep going? Of course it will. I don't know. I don't think so. Like, it's just too much problem. It's too much problem, man. Like, I've seen kids. You know, my mom always told me, "You're an ungrateful child." You know, when they get mad. I'm like, you know what? She has a point. You know, she has a point. I'm like, you know, if I'm gonna listen to something, I'm gonna listen to that point. Oh man, but no, I mean, you know, as we get older, I'm still immature. I'm an immature guy. I'm still immature, so possibly, but I don't know for the moment. I should do a video on the law of attraction. Yeah, I do believe in the law of attraction, but from a different perspective, from a non-spiritual way, like, you know, like the universe and all that shit. Like, that turned me off. But it is a similar perspective to the law of attraction. I'm gonna show you what I believe about the law of attraction. It's actually kind of interesting. Nah, he doesn't do monogamy. Hey, don't speak for me, Jenna Pomatangi. I still love my ex. Still left me. 2012. Now I think about him. I'm still single and don't know what to do to get him back. You gotta face reality. You know, it's one of those things you gotta keep processing. You gotta keep in your head, not from a place of thinking about it, but from processing it. You know, you have to accept those. The best way to let go of a relationship is to realize you're never getting them back. Like and sometimes you do something I call reverse supplication, where you act like you don't like them to get them back. Yeah, it's one of those things that you can't force, you can't lie yourself about it. You just have to allow it to be. You know, like, it's one of those things that I have I do have tactics for that, right? Actually, I watched the video. I have a video on that. I think it's called How to Get Over Your Ex, some shit like that. Just look. Like, a lot of people ask me questions. I don't think you guys are looking at my videos. Like, okay, look. People think I sound like a dick when I say this, because I reject a lot of people from one-on-one coaching. They tell me, why are you doing this? I say no to a lot of people who ask for one-on-one coaching. A good 20, I don't know, like 25, 40% of them, I say yeah, but for the most part, no, because a lot of times I cover the topic. Like, I cover so many topics in depth. You guys don't understand how much in depth those videos are. Some people just make videos and read off of script. You know, oh, let me make a video for 5 minutes, talk about it, and just post once a week. Now, some people do that. I'm not judging them for it, but that's cheating the process. Come on, man. Come on. Like, if you're gonna talk about something, talk about it in depth. That's the way I see it, right? Because attraction is such a deep topic that I feel like I'm cheating people if I don't really go into it, because I'm like, I'm missing this point, because I went a lot in depth to it. I forgot what I was saying. What if is that your grandma's bedroom? It's my mom's bedroom, man. Come on, stop asking about this goddamn room. I remember somebody said this room is stuck in the 80s. I'm like, fuck you, bitch. I'm about to block you for saying that. My friend was 11-year relationship, and she has been ready for marriage and children, but her boyfriend keeps pushing back the time. He's not ready. And she's ready. He's not ready. I mean, think about that. Patience is patience is a skill. A skill that you develop. You gotta learn how to develop patience. Sometimes, and that comes from presence of mind. For example, like Jack from Titanic. Remember that scene where they were in the room downstairs, and he had to get the keys. He got to get the keys when they were fucking drowning. First of all, that's bullshit. There's no way anyone could do that. That's luck, right? That's like 1 out of 30, 1 out of 50. Second of all, it requires a huge presence of mind, because you're noticing yourself, you're drowning, but you have to focus. Turmoil, but you got to focus. What happens is that when you have turmoil around you and you have no presence of mind, is that you're going to lose your focus, problem, and you lose focus, you see? And what you have to do then is, when you lose that focus, is that you're just thinking about the future. Like, you're focusing on the problem. focus on the problem. But then you think about your friends. Oh shit, I want to hang out with my friends. I want to hang out with my friends, and it produces what? An impatience. Like you're here, but you want to be there, and now suddenly it compromises the quality of whatever you're doing. You see, so patience is important, because what's going to happen then is that when you develop that patience, you're going to realize that a lot of the things you're doing is bad. Like, she's thinking selfishly. I mean, look, man, like, I understand you got kids, right? You got kids, but you gotta, in life, if you don't have patience, you're gonna make a lot of stupid decisions, and that pushes guys away. It's like telling a guy to throw away the trash. If you keep fucking telling him to throw away the trash, he would have done it, but because you keep telling him, he's not gonna throw it away. Sorry about that. I gotta throw out the trash today. But like when I wake up, I'm like, Mom, if you tell me to throw out the trash, I know I gotta do it. If you tell me, I'm not gonna do it, right? Yeah, she has to develop patience, man. Like, she has to develop patience. And yeah, I feel for her. I know, man. I know. It's difficult. Yeah, Alex, can you do a video about how to deal with doubt when you won't make it? Yeah, the way I like to deal with doubt is I like to listen to Eminem, "Lose Yourself," the song. That really does motivate me. But I'll make a video about that one day. Do a video why a guy would choose to marry somebody else, why you were dating for 2 years. I had times when people don't make when someone does something that doesn't make any sense. There's emotions behind it. You know, there's emotions behind it, and a lot of times our emotions don't make any sense. You know, they don't make any sense. They're rational. We're rational beings, not logical beings. Did you find a room in Park Slope? Yeah. But if you, I hope she's not looking at this. Like, she's looking at this like, is he gonna say that he found a room, right? But you know, if you do know of a room near Park Slope, you know, let me know. But I did find one. I'm committed to them, right? But if you do find a better room, let me know, right? I bet girls are like, you see, he is a cheater. Look at him, he's committed to someone. Well, yo, you gotta find the best place, dude. Like, you know, like, I want this. The place where I found is right in front of the library, in 9th Street and 8th and 7th Avenue in Brooklyn. It's right in front of the library and right next to the YMCA. Just like I had it in my mind. Just like I had it in my mind. Literally. Like, I'm looking at my fucking window and hey, YMCA. Like, literally, hey, YMCA. Like, they'll knock on my door, be like, hey, D, we're open. Like, it's already, like, exactly how I had it in my mind. You believe that shit? That's what happens when you become obsessed about something. It's not about the law of attraction. Just become obsessed. Trust me. When you become obsessed about something, you don't need Adderall to focus. You don't need anything to give you energy. It naturally comes out of you. It's one thing to babysit a kid that isn't yours, but it's another thing to watch over a kid that is yours. You don't need any willpower because you're passionate. You love them. It's all about having the passion about the right things, not being passionate about the wrong thing, you know. How to make him break up with his girlfriend. Yo, yeah, I got some psycho women here. But the way you make a guy break up with his girlfriend is talk how good she is. You see, don't talk how bad she is. Like, oh, she must be an amazing girlfriend, right? Oh, man, like she must give you good sex. Not everyone's perfect. What's gonna happen is that because you're saying how good she is, he's gonna say, nah, actually she is this or that. That's a whole different topic. I could talk about this one day. Yeah, I would think that women would want to ask that question because, you know, you guys are heavenly, right? You guys are perfect, right? You guys would never think about doing something like that because you guys are angelic beings. Oh, you live close by. Oh, do you? Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, you grew up? Me too. I grew up in Park Slope. I grew up I'm on 23rd Street between 4th and 5th Avenue. It was nice. That's where that's where I first lived. No, that's not where I first lived. I lived on 16th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. But where I first lived officially was there. You know, that was where I started playing basketball. You know, that's where the first time I got punched in the face. You know, it's good memories. Like, first bully there. You know, it's good stuff. I remember. If I'm Italian, no, of course not. Come on. If I'm Italian, come on, man. Like, come on. Um, hopefully I'll see you soon at the Y. Oh, you do? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, look at that. Oh man, okay, I gotta find another YMCA now. Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Man, that's dope. That's dope. I think that's where they have like two-way street, is it? No. But yeah, man, like it's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm talking a lot. But my plan is when I move is to fucking do more of these, more liberty. Start working on my other channel. Because it's the summertime, right? And the summertime in New York City is the best. Oh, summertime in New York City is the best. There's nothing compares summertime in New York City. The women, they're so beautiful. Like God in heaven. Like they, the Lexus, you're now on the guy's channel. You guys can't relate. But there's something about New York City and women braless. Like they just love walking around braless. Like it's like, yo, like it's insane. Like in the summer, it's insane, right? Anyways, look at it, you know, no, I'm sorry, yo, because the plan is to do a where what I do mostly is I approach women, right, and I record it, right, and when I record it, I teach guys, look, I know I teach you guys the tactics, but this is how it's done. So you guys can see clearly how it's done, how to approach, how to do this. And also, I'm going to give you guys some examples of how to do it. You know, how to apply some of these tactics, how to play push-pull, how to tease a woman. But I'll be using what I teach you guys so you guys can also do it. But I'm going to give you guys a structure, because it's one thing reading about something, it's another thing to do. It's kind of like looking at MapQuest. It's one thing looking at a neighborhood through MapQuest, you know, Google Earth, but it's not being in the actual neighborhood. It's a totally different experience. Why would you guys maintain one relationship while cheating? Okay, this is what happened, okay? What's your favorite meal? Your favorite meal must, I don't know, spaghetti, right? You love spaghetti, don't you, right? Oh, you love your mom's cooking. Why would you eat somewhere else? Some guys just have a curiosity. It's that simple. Like, when you're, like, you can have the most beautiful girl in the world, right? She could be banging as hell, right? An amazing woman. But if a guy has a high sex drive, and I don't know, like some guys just like, so I remember, like, I've been in love to the point where I don't find other women attractive. But what tends to happen is that you get used to her. Like you get used to her, man. It's kind of like playing a video game. When you play a video game, it doesn't matter how great the video game is, you get used to it. You either need to play with a new game, new characters, right? Update it, right? Play with other friends, right? Change it around. But if you keep playing the same way, you're always going to lose interest, and you want to move on to the next game. So it's either on the developers of the game to actually integrate features that provide different ways to enjoy the game, online, offline, right? And also it's up to the person, you, me, the individual, to keep the person interested, you see. And winging it, which is just being there, right? Just being with them, right? Just like just being in a relationship without thinking, strategizing, winging it, you tend to fuck up a lot. You tend to get them too used to it. You tend to fuck them as much as he wants in the beginning, right? You know, oh, let's have sex 6 times. I know, look, I know how that is, right? It's fun, but you want him to have something to be desired, leave something to be desired, even though it takes some self-discipline on your part. You want to do that, and a lot of women don't do it systematically. The ones that do may do it on purpose, may do it because of chance, because of the environment they live in. You know, they may work at a job that requires a lot of guys. So as a result, the guy's gonna feel jealous on a consistent basis because he's like, oh, my wife or my girl, she's always hanging out with these guys, you know, because of her profession. So as a result, you have jealousy. So you're always consistently jealous of the girl, and you're always interested in her. But some women don't have that. You just are home. You come home, he's home. You know, you do this, he's there. Or you guys are always together, so there's no difference. You got to give them, I'm not mad. Like, no, but you got to give them a variety. And so a lot of women don't know how to do that. And so that's why they lose interest. I'm telling you, like with my girl, right? The last girl I was seeing, like, she was, oh my God, she was bad as fuck. But I lost interest. I remember like being with her and I'm walking in New York City and seeing other women. They were less attractive, but they had a different body type. And I'm like, like she was thick, nice breast, nice ass. Oh my God. But then I would see skinny girls. I'm like, you know what? I want to try that too. Right. And it's not because of like I'm mean, like, right? It's just because like you're just curious. Like it just is what it is. Like I promise you, if you start a YouTube channel, right? teaching guys. I don't know. Like let's say that you it just is, man. It just is. It just is. Let me see. Uh, Tell me why I've been using your advice, and my boyfriend, he said he'll give me a baby fine. Okay, I'm giving babies now. Okay. So now, so women are using my tactics, and guys want to have children with them. Okay, that's interesting. I never thought about that. Right, bringing to life. If you want to look, if you want to name a kid, nobody has been. I've been trying to get people to name their kids Delexis. Nobody wants to name their kids Delexis, so it's out there, Delexis. Let me know. You use it with boys, girls. And look, I need somebody else to suffer with me. I need somebody else to deal with this shit of having such a complicated name, of having to correct people how to spell it, having to deal with people on the operator and asking you how to spell your name, and even though you spell it right, they still misspell it the wrong way. You got to repeat it. Let me see. What's the worst? Okay, this guy. So. Okay, my sign is a Virgo. How to make my boyfriend to understand his mistakes and feel sorry and apologize. You have to apologize yourself first. You see, get in the habit of being wrong about things you don't care about. For example, if you know that you're going to argue with the guy, right? You have to develop a reputation of not being argumentative, because your reputation is what guides you through life. If you're known as someone who's argumentative, no matter what points you make, if you're known as that, people are going to hesitate. People are going to resent you. People are going to, argue. For example, like if you hate Donald Trump, right? Just because he's Donald Trump, if he makes a law that is actually good, because you hate him, you're gonna say, you know what, something's wrong. This is not really good. What's really up this? You see, like because of his reputation, you're not going to accept what he says. As opposed to if I say it, you may accept it. For example, I say a lot of crazy shit here, right? But because I may have the reputation of being understanding and caring, you guys are gonna say, you know what, I believe he has good intention. You see, your reputation. If you're known as someone who's argumentative, people are not gonna want to lose an argument around you simply because you are argumentative. It's not because of the fact. So you want to do this strategically. Get into the habit of getting into arguments about things you don't care about, but act like you care about it. And be like, you know what? You're right. And his mind is like, I'm right? Okay, right? And I just keep picking little arguments that you don't care about, but act like you care about it. So that when the moment comes about something that you actually care about, you already develop the reputation of someone who gives in, someone who doesn't have an ego. And it may help. It definitely helps. Do guys miss side chicks? Oh, hell yeah. And again, like when you value yourself based on your personality or on your brain, right? You're going to get offended. Like, I just want to have sex with her. Like, I don't want to have a relationship. I just want to have sex with you. You're going to get offended, right? But you got to realize we're all objects. We're useful for different things. We're useful for our brains. We're useful for our bodies. We're useful for our money. We have different things, but we just accept being used about certain things. Like, why don't you appreciate my personality? Well, because that's not the only thing about you. There's a lot of things about you and your personality may be shitty, but you may have a good body. As opposed to, what? So you don't mind me liking your body, but not your personality, but you mind me liking your personality, but not your body. So you don't mind me loving you for who you are, but not loving you for how you look. It's a paradox, right? So you got to deal with things as they come. Like, some women like me because of how I look. Some women like me because of how I talk. Some women like me because of my ethnicity. Some women like me because they want to piss off their fucking parents. I like that one, right? I like that. I like knowing that I'm pissing off the parents' dad, the girl's dad. But yeah, that tends to happen, right? So yeah. They're just surprised how well you understand a woman, how you open up. Oh, thank you, Mini Walls. Thank you. To be honest, I thought women were gonna hate me. I thought I was gonna get feminazis attacking me, right? But it's very surprising seeing women liking my channel so often. How do you deal with guys liking and following lots of girls on Insta in early signs of dating? Should you mention this? No, don't do it. Look, guys are thirsty. Oh, shit, right? I'm thirsty too, right? Some girls, you may see me commenting on your photo. Hey, girl. Like here, like there, right? It's normal. Guys are thirsty. Everyone's thirsty. Everyone's thirsty. Like, I'm thirsty now. I need some water, right? But everyone's thirsty. Like, if some of you guys may have noticed, I may, DM'd you, like, every guy's thirsty, right? So you gotta deal with it. Personally, I don't like to follow a lot of women. Too much validation. But notice It may be a habit. It may be a habit. It may be a habit. I mean, I'm talking about those who are normal, but I know what you're talking about. There's some guys who are just extremely like following every hot girl. I'm like, come on, bro. I do not like having guys on Insta. Well, I mean, you gotta deal with it. Nobody. Let me see. I was hoping you said something about Virgos. Are you telling? Now, how to be attractive over text. One of the ways to be attractive over text is not to try to be attractive. And also sending nice pictures here and there, being vague. But you don't see, if you're focusing on how to be attractive over text, you're not really focusing on the right thing. I tell guys, look, in game, there's something called pickup, like your verbal game, physical game, right? You know, your overall game, and then there's text game, there's online game, right? And a lot of guys focus on text game, or she doesn't like, you know, she doesn't like me because I sent in the wrong text. You know, I tell guys, look, bad game cannot fix good text message. No, good text messaging cannot fix bad game, like a personality. But good game can always fix bad game, bad text game. In other words, if you have a good aura to you, relax aura, and apply the tactics that I teach. I mean, guys are going to be chasing you, and you don't need game. You actually just need to be there, respond minimally, you know, and just keep it simple. Like, when a guy likes you, he likes you. As long as you don't send a lot of text, keep it at minimum. Like, literally, as long as you keep it minimum in terms of text messages, you set your boundaries, you tell them when to meet up. You're going and not responding to some text messages just here and there, and then acting like you didn't respond, not because you were fucking with him, but because your phone died, stuff like that. That's one thing you need. Like, you don't need nothing else. Like, yeah, there are some people who are amazing at text, but it's much better to invest that time to work on yourself. You see? Well, there's some fire on his chart. I don't know what that means. How to act to guys who play games too. When the guys are playing games, play your own game. Don't respond. Like, as soon as you see him playing games, take a step back. You see, like, take a step back, but as soon as you notice him withdrawing, take a step forward. You see, you know what I'm talking about. Like, and I'm gonna show you guys this when I start approaching women, and you guys see me doing it in person. You'll see that women act like they're, you know, like they're not interested, right? You see them, and you'll see that when a woman doesn't act interested, right? Like acting disinterested, but she's talking to you and she's still there, right? That's a sign that you have to, that she's playing a game. Like, if a girl's acting uninterested, right? Not laughing as much, but she's hanging out with you, and you're asking her to come here with you, and she's coming with you, right? She's playing a game. So what you have to do is ignore it. Act as though she's interested, because the biggest sign of a woman not being attracted is not what she says, right? But what she doesn't say, you see, and also what she doesn't do. If she's still with you, and she doesn't give you any signal, like she's not laughing, but she's still with you, it's a sign that she likes you. That could just be she's nervous. I mean, you guys, women could relate to that, right? So the same thing with a guy. When a guy's acting interested, he may try to play those games, right? So what you have to do then is to not react. Like, when you see the guy playing those games, not react. For example, like a woman tells me, "Oh, I'm into older guys, right?" And she's older than me, right? And she tells me I'm into older guys, right? I just, okay, cool, that's cool. Like, see, like, you're just not giving any attention. Like, okay, that's cool. Take some effort. You know, I'm not explaining it. I'm not saying why aren't you interested in younger guys. You're cool with it. That's how I don't. Let me see. What's up with it? Okay. All right. Anyways, that's it for one day. Bye-bye. I may be doing more of these often. By the way, this week I may have a one-day special where I'm going, because I'm getting a lot of questions, like literally a lot of questions, like giving me guys your story. So what I'm thinking of, offering people, I'll answer every person's question, like long, you know what I'm talking about, those books you guys send me. I'll answer those questions for a fee. I may do just one day just to see how I like it, and if I like it, I'll continue doing it. Like, just for one day. So I may do it in the morning where I'll charge, I don't know, it'll be a fee, 30, I don't know, 30, 20, $20, where send me your question, send me your problem in a message, and I'll answer it in a form of a video or audio, and I'll send it personally to you. And you know how I am. I don't just give half-assed answers. And that's how I'm going to do it, just for one day, and to see how that works. And if I like it, I'll continue it, do it some other time. And it's just for those people who have one little issue or one problem and they don't need long coaching. They just need a quick response or a quick guidance. And that's worth a lot because it saves you the time, the money, because rather than doing one long session with me, you just do like, I'll give you the answer for that fucking problem, you know? And it also saves you time in your relationship because those who worked with me, they know how I work, you know? They know how I work. Left? Yeah, they know how I work, where the shit that I say works, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that, right? And so I get a lot of these messages daily and I can't answer them because I have clients that pay me one-on-one, you know, and it's unfair to them. It really is unfair. And I feel like if they're doing it, having to tell you guys no. So what I'm thinking is maybe let me see what you guys think about that. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Doing like, where you guys, because I know some of you women have a question for a specific problem. Like, again, I cannot answer everyone because it's unfair for those who pay, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what I was thinking, maybe doing that for a one-time fee for one day just to see, because I'm very sensitive when it comes to like coaching. Like, I'm so used to coaching people in person, going out in the streets and approaching people, women, and teaching them how to do it, that doing the whole phone, it's something that's new to me, right? So I still got to get comfortable and see what I'm comfortable with, you know? So let me see what you guys think about that. Yeah, that could work in the UK. Coaching, right? That could work in the UK, and I'm gonna see how I feel about it, you know? Because again, like, the thing is that you guys may think I'm expensive, right? You guys say, "Oh my God, he's so expensive, he's an asshole," right? But it's because, and you guys can understand this logic, right? If you charge little, like, I don't know, like, let's say I charge $50,000 an hour, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why I do this, right? If I charge $50,000 an hour, then what's gonna happen? Everyone's gonna be able to get me, right? And again, that's not because I'm being mean, right? But because then I'm gonna have like fucking to pay the bills. I'm gonna have like 8 clients a day, like 7 clients a day. I have to do that, right? So what since it happens, I get burnt out, right? I don't make as many videos as a result of it, and because so many clients, I gotta spend a lot of time with it. But then you gotta pay taxes, right? So that gets cut almost in half, depending on where you live, right? Unless you have Donald Trump's attorney or the counsel, you don't have to pay any taxes, right? So that's what happens. So now what you have to understand then is that your advice isn't valued as much because people don't pay that much. That's what happens. It's a psychological thing. In addition to that, what tends to happen also is, what was I saying? Is that because I have so many clients, I'll forget things about people individually. I forget, what was your case about? What was your case about? So you can't keep a good amount of clients when it comes to this because you just forget. You have so many people. So what you have to do then is you have to increase the prices. So then it's 150, but then people don't fucking care that it's 150. Because as my subscribers grow up, the more people I get. And as the more people I get, that don't give a fuck about how much I charge. So that means that I'm like, okay, 150 per hour means I only get 2 or 3 clients a week, or 3 or 4, whatever. And that's still a lot for me because it's like I got to keep up, right? But then the subscribers grow, 150 doesn't care. So then you got 10 people. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, okay, then I see. That's why I'm not making. See, the past 2 days I haven't been making a lot of videos. The past videos I made was because of videos that I made in the past, right? And it was because of that. So I'm like, it's flawed because I'm only one sexy person, right? So, so then I'm like, okay, I gotta raise it then. You see, and so that's a problem, right? And so what's gonna happen then? What's the best way? I always tell you this, is that then you have to find that middle ground where I'm charging a lot, right? But it's because I'm making more videos. Because come on, these videos are fucking long as hell, right? I mean, these videos are like the shit you see in courses. Like, this is some deep shit. This thing. I looked at the videos that I have. I'm like, I saw people dating coaches who've been coaching for 2 years, and I have more videos than them. And I've been in for like 4 months, and they're like longer and more in depth and more quality, right? And so in life, you have to know how much you're worth relative to the market. You have to know your value. And so in order for the people to value yourself, you have to value yourself first. And so what's going to happen is that the more you charge, the more people value your advice, the more they apply it, because they know that you're so expensive, right? And so they're like, maybe this works. If it's really that much, then I mean, maybe it works. It's one of those things that becomes the self-fulfilling prophecy. It's one of the weirdest things. Yeah, and again, like, it's very tempting for me to lower it because it means more clients, right? But I have to follow people's advice that have been telling me in business. I have to not follow my instincts to want the quick cash. I have to, because it's tempting. It really is. But I have to do that. And and that's in life. Like in life, when you have something of value, don't give it cheap, because it's not cheap. It's your perception of money. You see, it's more of a poor mentality, because someone who's rich, $100 is nothing. You see, so when you charge someone $100, you can be like, it's 100. You see, but to people who earn a lot, they're like, okay, that's nothing. You see, and so you could have earned more. You could have valued yourself more, because if you value yourself more, what's gonna happen is that you work less per se with clients, but you've learned more. So the more you learn, the more people benefit those who don't pay. So it's an ecosystem. And to be perfectly honest with you, my friend was telling me this. I'm like, yo, dude, that's a fucking amazing excuse you're giving there. That's an excuse that, like, if I was looking at you and you were lying, I'm like, I think you're lying, but it makes sense. Like, I'm like, yo, that's like my first step into politics, right? But it makes sense though, right? It makes sense. So I'm gonna do that this Friday and see how this works out. Actually, I'm going to leave a link. You guys want a link for that, for where you guys can message me? If you guys are interested in that, let me see. Just go to Mindful Attraction. Like literally, just go to Mindful Attraction and let me know. And on that day, say the Friday special, something. Say Friday special. Let me know, and I'm gonna let you know it's gonna be around, I don't know, like 30, 40, something like that, right? Because some of you guys send me books. You guys send me books, man. You guys send me books, man. And that's what I'm gonna do, because again, I feel like a dickhead not helping you guys out, but then it's guilt. You see, when you feel like a dickhead, it's guilt, and that's how people control you, using guilt. It causes you to actually do things that you wouldn't have done otherwise, simply to please people. You see what I'm saying? You see, like me feeling bad that I'm not helping you guys is actually an emotion that causes neediness. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be aware, dude. Like a lot of shit that you don't notice that comes from insecurity arises. You just gotta be aware, right? So it's gonna be this Friday, and I'm gonna do it in the morning around this time. Let me see. And what I'm thinking though is maybe give me suggestions. Give me some suggestions if you guys are looking at me. Give me some suggestions, because I'm thinking, and again, like I'm trying to help out as much as possible, but also like I don't want to burn myself out, because a lot of coaches, I'm telling you, I've seen it where they're like the quick cash, and they'll burn themselves out. They'll burn themselves out. Like I'm a sensitive guy with my, you freak asking me to slurp. And I used to charge 25 people for people who let me down, canceled. I charge 65, now real expensive for field, but people pay and say they think, yeah, like I'm telling you, like when you charge a lot, like people will perceive your service more quality. But look, again, I charge a lot because I know myself, and like I know this shit works. Like I have no doubt in my mind this shit works. When I used to be a web developer, and I used to be a programmer in the past, and I used to charge $65, like you said. I used to charge $65, and that was still a lot for me. But something that I noticed is that if someone's willing to pay 65, they're willing to spend 100. You see, to the point. And if someone's willing to pay 250, they're willing to pay 300. Like those things, right? And you have to be willing to put it out there. And again, value is not based on like pure value. You see, it's based on the market, relative, and also based on what you believe you're worth, and also based on how available you are. See, so again, the scarcity, which is people want me, the more subscribers I have, it's obvious the prices go up. See? And again, like the reason why I bring it up is because, to be perfectly honest with you, it's very uncomfortable for me. It really is very uncomfortable, because a part of me feels like I'm taking advantage, but then a part of me realizes, it's capitalism. That's how it works. You see, and feeling bad about it is a very scarcity mentality, because why the fuck are you feeling bad for providing an exchange service for people for something that actually works? It comes from a scarcity mentality, and so you have to be okay with yourself feeling bad and go through it, and also be honest with it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, scarcity. I'm telling you, scarcity is one of those things that it's so powerful. It increases the values of things. That's why with my one-on-one clients, with my gold package, where I give people the chance to have unlimited access to me for 1 month, I charge it for $900, because I'm only doing it for 2 people. You imagine me having unlimited access to me for like 10 people? No. Get the fuck out of here, dude. My mom has that and she doesn't pay. Get the fuck out of here, dude. That's not gonna happen. Let me see. Manipulative parents. Oh yeah, to make them. Good point. Whoever you are, Lotus Stream, I'm putting that in there. Parents, because Parents, man. Woo, I saw Get Out. I saw that movie. I've seen it. Uh, Parents dating. You guys like this? But what do you guys think about that? The whole day, like, you know, like 20 hours a day, some shit like that. I'm still not there, but you know, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I'm not a good pronouncer. Yeah, I stutter a lot sometimes, right? But yeah, that's it. I'm talking too much. I don't know how long I've been on this. Let me see. But yeah, that's it, guys. Anyways, it's Alex from mindforattraction.org. I hope you guys have a good day. And how long have I been on this? Time out. I'm not leaving yet. How long have I been on this? Oh shit, 1 hour. Oh my god in heaven. Holy shit. All right, I think it's time for Alex to go. All right. Bye bye.